DR fam. Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry I missed your last few days. Had some family stuff going on, which didn't really let me get to the videos or the recaps. But honestly, wasn't a lot going on in the market last couple of days, so I wasn't too worried about it. But again, hope you guys are doing well. Figured I'd just get us back on track here real quick, just looking at where we are. Kind of high level time frame down. We'll do a couple of the 5 minutes at the end, just last couple of days for the New York session. But real quick, we look at where we are from a monthly time frame. ES on the left, NQ on the right. You see we had a drop down during this month. We're at the 17th of the month. So this month we've had a pretty significant drop, but now we're starting to recover, right? So if you see both monthly candles, now we have a large wick on both of those because we've dropped down, but now we're starting to recover. So we'll see how it ends up at the end of the month. It's January, so sometimes January a little slow start the year out. People were talking about the market dropping in January, so that might have been it. But I know now, are we recovering, or do we finish the month and end up going back down? We'll see. All right, so that's what the monthly looks like. Drop down to the weekly on both really quick. And so now if we look at each week, and if you look, this big red candle is basically the start of the year. All right. And honestly, we've just been kind of consolidating. We haven't really moved up or down, right? I mean, we've done that, but we're kind of in the same place. So not a whole lot's going to tell you there. If you look at like the previous months when we had the run up, I mean, it was just every week. It was just, just boom that way, right? Same thing on ES, right? So now we're kind of in that consolidation zone. But look what's happening. And this is where we kind of use our fair value gaps and et cetera to work through this and think of what's going to happen potentially next, right? So if you look here, we have on the ES, right? So early January, oops, let me turn that on. Early January, we went all the way down into this green bullish fair value gap, which means price wants to go up. And so the second week of the year, we went back up, and then we started coming back down again. So where did we go down to? We almost got back down to the back down into the fair value gap. So we may come back down there at some point, or we may continue to go up. Now the challenge here is, we're at a high, right? This is kind of like our high on the ES anyway. Same thing on NQ, and so we're kind of in that zone where, same thing happened on NQ where we went down to the fair value gap and bounced off of it. Now on NQ, we actually have gone back down into that fair value gap again and start to move back out of it. So, not saying that I'm thinking one thing or the other is going to happen. I'm just looking at it, for what it is. So I can kind of get an idea of where I think price may want to go. All right. So as of right now, for this week, I'm looking at price potentially going up. Now, if I go down to the daily, all right, so let's look at that this current week on the daily. Do that for both. Okay, so now what we see is price is actually coming down this week, right? So this was Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday on the ES. We had, kind of a doji candle, a little bit of a drop, more of a drop. We'll see where we go. We'll see what happens here. We're coming down. This that fair value gap for the weekly that we did not, we haven't touched again. But again, here, if you look, we are kind of knee deep in it. All right, as far as fair value gaps go. So there's, we went down, came back out. Now we're looking at it from, if I look today, I don't count today like much, but we opened up. Sorry guys, hold on. Too much going on here. Hold on a second. Okay, so we opened up here, but don't know if we're going to go down or go up yet. Okay. Now on NQ, we do have like a fair value gap here, daily bearish. So you can see we went up here, and we started to come back down. So not sure what's going to happen there, right? So we're just looking at it from a perspective of let's understand what price is doing, okay, and then see how that impacts what our bias is if we have one, right? So we kind of have this motion going on, all right? So this price come down into a fair value gap and drop back up into that one. does it come back down here and move? That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay. So anyway, so just high level, again, definitely not as clean as what we had toward the end of last year, where we just kept going up, up, and up. But again, it's one of those things where, as we look at those time frames, we can kind of get a feel for what price may want to do and how do we react to that. Okay. All right. So let's go down to our 5-minute charts, and I'm actually, because I missed you guys yesterday, I really had a video to do yesterday. Um, let's go. Let me look at this yesterday. Or yeah, that's yesterday. Okay, so we'll look at yesterday really quick, and then we'll jump into today. So let me get us to where we were. Sorry. Let's go to, that's the 6th, 17th. We need the 16th. We need it at, here we go. That's the DR setup we're looking for. All right. So, okay. So yesterday was interesting from the fact that we didn't really have good DR setups. Last couple of days really haven't been good DR setups. And so one of the things that I was talking to my buddy Tim, who runs the Spider Gang, and he's an ICT trader. But he was talking about, hey, I think I want to trade DR today. And I said, well, Tim, check the ES, because that's really an easier thing to trade when it comes to DR. Especially if you're kind of just starting out, right? He's a huge ICT guy, knows all the terms, all the things that that I would never know, like consequent encroachment and something, and anyway, all that stuff. I know my ladders, I know my levels. That's all I really know about. All right. But anyway, so we were talking, and so he tried to get in. So you look at DR, we confirmed high here. And so we retraced a bit down. We had a pretty small gap between IDR and DR. He put an order in, or he was going to put an order in. So price came down, went back up, and then came back down again. Now, so for him, that's not a move that he's used to making, right? That's more of a scalp move, because you could have, like I said, you could have got 4 points off of that move, right? Because this was, I think it was 42.11 up to 42.15, I think is where that candle went to. So yes, you could have scalped some points off of that one, which wouldn't have been bad. That's still not a bad move. So 4 points, that's a couple $100. You could have done that. So what really happened was, now I was not paying attention. Yesterday was Wednesday. Wednesday's my day at work. He's texting me all these things that happened. And so I'm looking at him going like, yeah, you could have got 4 points. And then, the bottom drops out a bit, and it drops back down all the way down to, so forget, this is today's midnight. This is not yesterday. So, but it comes back down to the blue line, which is our 0.5 fib, and starts to reverse. So while I'm talking to him, via text, I'm like, well, I'm just going to put my order on right here on 0.5 fib. And, this candle basically rolled back up. Right. And so, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't even get to the other candles. I actually did, 'cause this candle actually it came down, went back up to probably about here or so. And so I actually had a 5 or 6 point take profit on that one. So hit my take profit, then it came back down again. And then it did the same thing. So it went back down below 0.5 fib on this candle. So I just put another order on it. 0.5 fib, boom, another 5 points there. Could have had more, but I was just, again, I really wasn't supposed to be trading. So I just took it, and, I'm telling him like, thanks for making me a lot of money today, buddy. Cause, I would not have been looking at this if I wasn't talking to you. So just a different mindset. So that's what happened yesterday on ES, and I hadn't traded ES in so long. But it is much calmer than NQ, for a variety of reasons. NQ did the same thing. If you look at it, it's basically the same setup that it had here, that ES had, right? Now, yeah, so you could have tried to get back in somewhere down here, and probably got in trouble. But at the end of the day, once I get one thing I've learned, and this is something that it's hard to do, right? Because you get in, and you're like, oh, I'm in the zone, and things are going well, and then you start to overtrade. So one of the things that I actually am happy about, two things. One, I use my phone at work. I don't want to use the company computers to trade, so I use my phone at work. But the crazy things is that, like, I'm getting lags this last week or so. It's just been really laggy. Like if I'm entering a trade or exiting a trade, it just takes forever for it to process it. So by the time I'm in the trade or trying to exit the trade, a lot of times I'll lose, the slippage, which is really not slippage, it's just lagging. Just kind of eats up a lot of the profit. So I haven't really been doing a whole lot of trading at the office, but I was able to, I did it yesterday, and so I was like, oh, thanks a lot for making me some money. All right. So anyway, so that was yesterday. Opportunity there, but it wasn't a great trading day. All right, it's just not a. If you look at the whole day, it wasn't a great. We end up coming down and actually having a false day on the ES. Right, we confirmed high and then we confirmed low, so that's a false day. Now, if you're doing NQ, if you were looking at that yesterday, and you were patient enough and you waited, here you had opportunity to actually do a retirement setup, right? Which is again confirmed high, went all the way down to the other side, did not close below the opposite DR, and reversed. So you could have done that. All right, that was an opportunity. I didn't take it. Again, I wasn't really looking at the market at that point. All right. So today was another one of those days where really there was nothing happening. And again, when you're in a consolidation period like we are, this is not the strength of DR, right? DR likes when we're actually moving. Here today, you had it would have been a horrible day if you were trading that. Now, because again, you confirmed high, you could have gotten a nice retirement setup here, but then it reversed on us again and went back down. So it confirmed low. So this becomes now a false day, right? And there are some DR traders that trade false days and all that good stuff. I'm just not one of them. I don't mess with it too much when it comes to that. But there was some opportunities here where you could have, we confirmed high, we did retrace. So there's a little bit, there's some movement here. We didn't confirm actually. That was on ES. All right. So last couple weeks when we were doing a lot of movement, the ES would confirm very quickly, and NQ would confirm very quickly, and ES would be lagging. So now we're in this consolidation zone, and it looks like the ES is the one that's doing the confirmation, whereas NQ actually did not confirm today. All right, it confirmed like at the end of the day, but there's no confirmation here. All right, so there's really no trading there from our standard way we trade DR. All right, so it's just one of those periods where you kind of just either you kind of sit on the sidelines, or you work on your scalping skills. Because there's still opportunities there. You could still, you could still scalp some things. Like, if you really, we're here, we could have actually still taken. Excuse me. We could have still taken that trade if if you're just being antsy. It's just one of those things where for me, I do well enough just when things are working out that I don't need to force it. Excuse me. So it's just a matter of again what your risk tolerance is and how you look at the market. So if you're doing ICT stuff, there's probably some ICT opportunities in there, or any other strategies that you use. So all right, I'm gonna get off this thing before I choke to death. Get some water. But anyway, yeah, missed you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to come back and just kind of give you some value here. And like I said, don't force these things, right? So DR is an 80% strategy. I tell one of my quote unquote students that all the time. Like, you're not going to win every trade. You're not supposed to. Okay. If you do, that means you're using too much risk, right? And I've done it, right? So I've had a trade drop down I had multiple contracts, but it dropped down almost $1,000 on me and end up reversing to go back and become positive. But that was stressful. All right. That was very, very stressful. So it's not something I recommend. But that's what NQ does to you sometimes, because it's just like it moves the way it moves. It's just yeah, very fluid. Again, ES is a little more structured, I'd say. Yeah. Even though the movements look the same on the chart, it's just a different way that it moves. So anyway, hey guys, love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do it again. So take advantage of each and every opportunity. Appreciate each and every one of you. And I promise I won't be a stranger. If there's something to talk about, we'll talk about it. But I'm getting really busy, work related stuff. Some major projects coming up next couple months. So I'm pretty much in meetings from 9 a.m. to after 5 sometimes. So And by the time I get home and all that other good stuff, it's a little late. So, excuse me. So we'll try to keep going, do what we're doing. We'll still be trying to do recaps. Not saying I'm going to trade these every day, but I'll try to at least give you kind of where I see the market, from a hindsight perspective. When I trade, I'll let you know. But other than that, it'll just be kind of here's what I would have done if I would have had the opportunity. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, leave the comments in the comment box, and we will look forward to talking to you later. Again, appreciate each and every one of you, and let me go and get some water for I choke on whatever I'm choking on. All right, take care, guys.